Okay.
Right. Good evening, everyone. I am Anu Bhatnagar, Webinar Executive at Law Seekho. I welcome you all for this session. So, for today's session, we have this topic that how to prepare for preliminary examination of West Bengal Judiciary. And to give insights over the same, we have with us Shri Priya. So, it's a pleasure to have you on our webinar. So to introduce our today's expert, Shri Priya ma'am did her BA LLB honors from National Law School Ranchi, batch 2013 to 18 in corporate laws. Further, she did her masters from National University of Juridical Sciences, NUJS Kolkata, batch 2019 to 20 in corporate and commercial laws. She later then appeared for Civil Judge Junior Division Jharkhand Judicial Services and secured rank 3. So congratulations, ma'am, again for that.
Thank
Also,
you
she
so much.
appeared. She appeared for Civil Judge Junior Division for West Bengal Judiciary also, and she cleared judiciary till the mains stage. So we have a lot to learn from you, ma'am, and we are very excited to have you. Welcome to this webinar with Law Seekho.
Thank you so much, Anu. First of all, I would like to thank Law Seekho for this opportunity because I have been here once before also, and as I have already said in that webinar also that when I was preparing for my judiciary, such platform was not available for us at that time. We had to literally go through YouTube, and what we used to find were really stupid videos on judiciary and judicial and how to prepare. It wasn't helpful at all. But with Law Seekho, using this platform in a such nice way is a very good hope for all the future judicial aspirants, because since you have combined all the things on one platform, all the people who have cleared judiciary are coming on this platform. So it is a really nice thing taken up by you all, and I congratulate on you all guys. And Anu, you are doing a very good job moderating this, so congratulations to you too. So as Anu said that I have I have cleared Jharkhand Judicial Services exam in my very first attempt, and I got rank 3, and I had completed it along with my LLM. So as she said that I completed my LLM from National Law School Calcutta. So I also had the opportunity to appear for West Bengal Judiciary because the center was just 2 lanes away from my college. So I decided just to take that chance and go and appear for West Bengal Judiciary. Although I my language is Hindi, and I had in my mind to appear for Hindi states, but if I was getting a chance staying there and appearing, so I decided to take that chance. So this is how it happened, and I went for the interview round till the interview round. But since in West Bengal, as we'll be discussing later, language barricade is there in the interview round. Like, you should know how to read, write, and speak Bangla, and my mother tongue is Hindi. So that was the reason I couldn't get through it. But it was a really nice experience, and I would be sharing the overall experience with you today.
Right, ma'am. So thank you so much for your kind words for our Law Seekho organization and the work which we are doing. So, as we all are aware that West Bengal judiciary's notification has been out, and there are so many aspirants who have started preparing for the same, and we don't know when the preliminary dates are also out, that when will it happen. So there are so many aspirants who are in the dilemma that how to start with this, and what should be the criteria they need to follow up, and what are the reliable sources they need to look upon. So so we have a lot of questions regarding that. So let's start with the very basic, that how one should start with this preparation, since we have seen that there are so many aspirants who have just got graduated, right, and they want to get into the judiciary as well. So ma'am, just give us the basic foundation from where one could start with the preparation.
Okay, so like again, I would like to say that preparation, if you have in mind from your LLB days itself, that would be a great initiative, because from in LLB you get access to your college library, all kinds of books, and if you know what you want to do in your LLB itself, that is great. But in my case, I did not know during my LLB. I never had this aptitude for judiciary in my LLB days, and I was more focused on corporate. But when I graduated, there was this first hurdle that came to me, was books, access to books and materials. If you're not going to a coaching, you will face this problem. I'm sure most of the students would be facing it. And then you have to invest in all the commentaries, and then you have to read it. So that is one drawback if you are not aware about your ambition from your LLB. But however, even if you come to know after that, after your LLB, it's all fine. So you need books. The first step is you need all your bare acts. You need all your books that will be regarding the syllabus, that will, and then you need to analyze the syllabus, then the previous year papers, then how much marks containing which subject contains how much marks, and what should be focused upon more and what should be ignored. All these things must be analyzed, and then the preparation should be started. Most of the students I see, they start directly reading. चलो अब पढ़ते हैं, book खोला, सीधा evidence का book खोला, and they start reading evidence, every page, every chapter. That is a very wrong approach. You need to know कि कौन सा चैप्टर इज इम्पोर्टेंट, विच चैप्टर इज कमिंग इन द एग्जाम, मेंस के पर्सपेक्टिव से, प्री के पर्सपेक्टिव से. ये एनालिसिस you should have beforehand. You go for your preparation. If you have this analysis, much of your time is cut. So while I was preparing, I did this blunder. So that is the reason I'm sharing this right now, because I started reading CRPC. Okay, I was reading every day, every din raat I was reading CRPC, and then by the end of the month, I realized that I know nothing in CRPC, and I had completed around 5 to 6 chapters. And when I did one mock myself at home, I saw that I know nothing. I was like, I just knew 10 to 12 answers in that mock. So I was really shocked, and then I discovered my major flaw, that so I had just started reading for the sake of knowledge कि ठीक है knowledge है बढ़ता है, but competitive exams are not like that. You are not, अगर knowledge ही चाहिए तो वो LLB में ले लेना चाहिए, right? But when we are preparing for competitive exams, knowledge is not the main criteria. You need to focus upon important questions, and then important chapters which you are reading, and उसमें knowledge होना is very important. So so that's what the main stepping stone. Number one, you need to analyze everything and then go about your preparation. And then number two, you also need the blueprint of the examination, कि किसमें कितने marks का paper है. मतलब if we see I'll just give a basic example. For example, in Bihar, you will see CRPC and CPC, procedural law, consists just 10 to 15 marks of the pre. The pre is for 150 marks for law, and procedural part is just for 15 marks. While you will come to other Hindi states like MP, Jharkhand, UP, procedural is for 20 marks, like CRPC is 20 marks, CPC is 20 marks. So again, don't do that mistake. First go analyze कि कितने marks का paper आने वाला है. ऐसा नहीं है कि सब पढ़ते हैं CPC, CRPC तो हम भी पढ़ लें. नहीं, you go and analyze the paper first. So these are the two main steps I would say is necessary when you start with the preparation.
Right, right. So, ma'am, yeah, as you stated that when we start with the preparation, we just start with the reading. Like we take out this particular subject and we start reading. So basically, as we also know that barracks are the most important things, right? The basic foundation for judiciary, right? So, ma'am, just tell us that how to read barracks for preliminary examination in such a short span. Also, there is another question that comes up in our mind, that since the West Bengal judiciary notification is out, so people, what they do, they start with the mains preparation also. So how to manage all two things, that how to read Barrack and when to get into the mains preparation.
Okay. So with West Bengal, this is a very peculiar thing that the process is really fast. Okay. Uh, they take the prelims exam within 1 week. Their result is out for prelims, and from the date of prelims result, within 1 month you will be called for mains. Okay. So this is a peculiar thing about West Bengal, and only one other state which does this is MP and Delhi, two states which are so fast. Otherwise, none of these states in India are so fast regarding taking conduction of mains and all. So beware that once you are giving your pre, you must be prepared with your mains, because you'll just get a month time to appear for the mains. So I would say that go for बैराक plus commentary साथ साथ में पढ़ना है. As I already told that सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है, तो what you need to do is first you have analyzed the important sections. Okay, बैराक में भी सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है, तो what are the important sections, and then I read the sections from books also, and this is how I'll be prepared for mains. And those who are like, for me, writing down notes is not an important part of my preparation. I believe in I read and I directly write it in the examination, but I would not suggest everyone to do that. You need to prepare your notes so that you revise during the examination and all. So keep preparing notes. If you are not writing down everything, just make sure you have bullet points. Okay. So that is an important part of the preparation. And yes, you need to be prepared for the means right before your pre-examination. Then secondly, before coming to how to read bare apps, I would first like to discuss the blueprint of the West Bengal judiciary prelims exam. Okay, so as we can see, I already have the blueprint. So English, this is a 180 minutes examination. Okay. And last year cutoff was out of 272 for general. Okay. So it is a very low cutoff. 200 marks ka paper hai. And for general, the cutoff is 72. Cutoff was 72. And so the blueprint is for English, you have 30 marks. For GK, reasoning, and current affairs, you have 40 marks. Then for constitution, you have 20 marks. For law of contracts and torts, dono mila ke you have 20 marks, that is 10 marks each. Then you have law of evidence for 20 marks. You have CPC for 20 marks. Then again, CRPC and IPC mila ke you have 20 marks. Then personal laws are just for 10 marks. And finally, limitation act is for 20 marks. So this is a 200 marks paper. 72 was the cutoff for last year, 2019. And so as we can, and if we analyze the paper, what are the portions that you need to focus more? Okay, if you want to score 72, like almost उतना ही cut off रहता है. 72 से लेकर around 82, 85 पकड़ के चलते हैं. Cut off will be around that itself, because the number of students appearing in Bengal are less compared to Hindi states. B, मतलब West Bengal के students are there, and just the states that are closer to it, like Orissa, Jharkhand, Assam, these people also appear. But if we see Hindi states where 30,000 people are appearing, like this year for Bihar, 26,000 people have registered. So उस हिसाब से in Bengal you will see around 8 to 9,000 people register for the pre-exam. Okay, and from there they shortlist 3 times the number of vacancy students for mains and finally for interview. So if we see the blueprint, as we have already discussed, what are the important portions that you need to just if you are starting your preparation now, you must focus on sabse pehle law of contracts and torts. Why? Because they both are for 10 marks and they both are very thin acts. Okay, contracts, everybody find it easy, it is not that tough, and torts is also not that tough. So you can take three days each for both subjects, or maybe a week for both subjects, and you will end up completing 20 marks. So 20 marks done, you have secured 20 marks with a very thin amount of thin subject. If you would have gone for CRPC and CPC first, then it would have taken a month or 2 months. So, right, with contracts and dots, you can complete it within 2 weeks or 3 weeks if you are really dedicated. So here you get 20 marks. Then you come to law of evidence. It is also a very small bare act. 168 sections are there. So law of evidence is for 20 marks. So see, if you are reading 168 sections, you are securing 20 marks just with one. So here you are getting 40 marks with contract, tort, and evidence. Then we come to CPC. Just one CPC. Don't go for CRPC and IPC. If you master CPC for this, then again you secure 20 marks. You are done with 60 marks paper over here. Now, a very peculiar thing over here is that Limitation Act is for 20 marks. And you all know that Limitation Act is so thin, so thin. So if you focus on Limitation Act, you are securing 20 marks. So even if you leave your CR personal laws, because personal law is just for 10 marks, and how much you have to read in personal law? Pura Hindu law, Muslim law, succession, ye wo. Even if you skip personal laws and you focus on limitation, you have now secured 80 marks. Cut off clear, right? Just with these. And now you are still left with Constitution, English, GK, CRPC and IPC, and reasoning. Everything is still left. So you see, if you start preparing this way, like, okay, 80 marks done, then I'm not saying to leave the syllabus. Keep reading general knowledge. Reasoning is also very simple. Very simple reasoning is asked. You can score good. And English, keep practicing. There you have 30 marks, right? So this is how pre is very simple if you do it in this way. Don't start with, okay, chalo CRPC karte hain, sab kehte hain CRPC is important, tough, I'll do start with the tough. But look at the blueprint. You have just 10 marks for CRPC and you have 20 marks for limitation. You have 30 marks English. Why not focus on there? Okay. So this is one strategy I would like to suggest, looking at the cutoff, previous year cutoff of West Bengal. And for GK, if you are good in GK, you can score 40 marks with GK. Can you see this? GK,
Right.
current affairs and reasoning, it's total of 40 marks. So if you are good with that, you are scoring 40 marks with that only. Okay. And as I would suggest for GK, as I have seen the trend, not for GK, for current affairs, you go for Pratyogita Darpan. I have this with me, Pratyogita Darpan.
Right.
I've seen that West Bengal follows bluntly Pratyogita Darpan. Okay, whatever are in those short boxes and in its front pages, whatever, you will get the same thing in your pre. Okay, and then for your mains also, make sure you follow Pratyogita Darpan for the last 6 months or 1 year, and you'll find that you are scoring massive. Because for mains also you have one subject as GK, and the questions are a bit tough for GK in mains. So that is important if you follow. And then for GK, that was for current affairs. And for GK, we all know we have Lucent. I also have that, if I can show you. This is Lucent. So
Right.
this is for GK. Again, Lucent, as we see, Lucent's every sentence is a question. Okay, in every judiciary exam, you see Lucent's one-liners are question. So that is important for GK. And reasoning, you can practice there itself. You'll be able to solve if you have a good mathematics background. Then you can solve reasoning over there. It's very like 6th, 7th level reasoning. And for English, follow Renan Martin. Renan Martin se bhi pura, like they copy the questions from Renan Martin itself. So I have already let you know all the books, because to my surprise, when I went there, I saw that sare questions match ho rahe the in books se. And previous year papers, when I analyzed, I saw that most of the questions, like agar 10 question hai, to 5 question to Renan Martin se hi the, unke exercises se. So that would be a great trick for you. Don't go around 10 books, because a golden rule for cracking any competitive exam is to keep your sources limited. Okay, this is the golden rule. So don't go around reading every book, everything. Just follow one good standard book which everyone is recommending, that would be enough to crack this pre-exam. And then also, for English, they have also let you know the syllabus beforehand. They say that they'll ask you synonyms, antonyms, idioms and phrases, and then vocabulary test. So since they have already let you know the syllabus, just take out those chapters and practice from Renan Martin. This is the simplest way, and you are scoring 30 marks over there. So as we can see, it's pre is very easy in West Bengal if you do it a bit strategically, and you leave your emotions at bay कि नहीं ये भी पढ़ ले, ये भी पढ़ ले, वो भी पढ़ ले. That is not the way. थोड़ा risk you will have to take for competing the exam. Okay, so this is it regarding the strategy.
Right. Yes. So as you suggested that the reliable sources is what you need to refer, and for preliminary you need to demarcate your particular subjects according to the strategies also, because we don't have much of time. So ma'am, as we have seen that in West Bengal judiciary there are optional subjects also, optional subjects which we need to choose, right? So
Right.
could you please just tell us how to diligently we as an aspirant need to choose those particular subjects? Because what we sometimes do, we sometimes choose lengthy subjects, for example Hindu, Indian constitution, and many. So just give us a what we can say, not an ideal approach, but just a idea how to choose the particular subject, optional subject.
Okay, so at my time, what optionals I had chosen was Hindu law, Muslim law, and Partnership Act. Okay, so since I have good command over family law, the reason why I did not choose Constitution was because A, it is very lengthy. B, since we all have been reading Constitution since our first years of LLB, we don't know when to stop writing in exam. Okay, we go on writing. हाँ चलो केशवानंदा इतना लिख रहे हैं, आधा पेज, 2 पेज, फिर हम लिख रहे हैं एडीएम जबलपुर, ऐसा कर करके अगर फंडामेंटल राइट्स का क्वेश्चन आ गया तो फिर तो 20 पेज लिख रहे हैं. और फिर क्या होता है कि यू एंड अप leaving or like haphazardly attempting the other questions. So that was the reason I did not choose Constitution for my optional. I went with Hindu law, Muslim law because they are very limited. Like if they are asking section 5 कितना लिख लेंगे हम, 5 points है तो वो marks भी कहाँ काटेंगे, क्योंकि उन्हें भी पता है कि उतना ही points है. So अगर section 5 I am writing, so I just refer one case law and then just wrote the Bear Act and like that. However, when I went there, I heard from my other competitors over there that they have chosen Constitution, Hindu law, and Limitation Act. So there many were suggesting me that you should go for Limitation Act, since it is a very small act and the questions are easier in Limitation Act. So that is all. I also realized that okay, instead of going for Muslim law, I would have gone for Limitation Act. That would have saved time. So in my suggestion, you can go for but the Muslim law paper was very tough. Okay. It happens in West Bengal judiciary that one of the optional papers is very tough. Like which paper will come tough, we don't know. In my year, Muslim law was very tough. Like they really asked Urdu words. They've just asked, what is this? And that was a Urdu word. And I had really skipped, never read those Urdu words. I used to like batil and all those Urdu. The questions were in Urdu, like so I was really confused. But luckily I cracked the mains. So I would suggest that if you want to go for Constitution and if you know where to limit yourself, definitely go for Constitution. Then go for Hindu law and go for Limitation Act or Partnership Act. Both are the same size and both will consume the same time. So this is the apt approach. Now one should also remember a very important point which nobody will tell you. During my interview, I came to know that in the interview they ask questions from your optional. Like In my interview, the first question was from Partnership Act, and it started revolving around Partnership Act. So this is a very important point to keep in mind. If you are choosing your optional, you need to have very good command over it, because in interview they will be grilling you over your optionals, like grilling you, not just one question, a easy question पूछ रहे हैं. They'll grill you in your optional subjects. So that is a trend they follow in their interview. So yes, this is it for the optionals, I would say.
Right. Yeah. So strategy one needs to follow up that choose subject diligently also from the optional subject. So ma'am, as you said that we need to pick up those subjects which are way more easy in terms of learning and everything. Like for example, contract and tort. These are the subject according to the marks also. Like the marks which they have allotted. So we need to pick those subjects, but sometimes we need to encounter these big major procedural laws like CRPC and CPC, and like aspirants are really asking these questions that how to actually learn CPC and CRPC, their rules and how to interlink between them. So ma'am, could you please just tell us the topics which we need to cover from these particular subjects,
Sure,
so that that would be helpful for the aspirants for quick revision or quick learning.
sure. So I have already prepared some important topics which you will find in every judiciary exam, be it West Bengal or any other judiciary exam. You need to have command over these sections thoroughly. Okay. So in case you have started reading CPCs, you need to start with these sections first. Skip the other sections. Okay. You don't need to touch them. First, make sure that you have command over these, because if you have 10 marks question in CPC, na, you will see that eight of those questions will fall from the sections which I'll be telling you right now. So there is no point reading the whole CPC and wasting your time, rather than just work smartly and score more, rather and no need to work hard for like reading rules, every rule. How we all know we don't remember the rules in the exam. जब पूछ लेते तो कुछ याद नहीं आता है. So उससे better है कि we follow a strategic approach. So for CPC, as I had already told in my previous video also, that section 2 definition portion is very important, very important. They ask you what is a decree, then they both for pre and mains, both what is a decree, what are means profit, and all these questions are very important from section 2. So don't skip section 2 of CPC. Also, one important thing that I missed was date of the exam, date of the date on which CPC was passed should also be remembered, and when the amendment of CPC was brought in 2002, that should also be remembered, because they through which case that amendment was brought. These three questions are the stepping stone for CPC. Then you come to section 2, read section 2 thoroughly. Then section 9, 10, 11, the most important portions of CPC, be it pre, mains, interview. You will face these questions everywhere. In my mains also res judicata was there. In my interview also, my interview revolved around res judicata for like around 10 minutes. Okay, so this is how important section 10, 11 is for CPC. So make sure you thoroughly master these three sections, 9, 10 and 11. Then place of suing is important. You need to know the jurisdiction where you are going to sue your case. CPC is all about filing cases. So 16, 17, even in my Jharkhand exam, in my in West Bengal also, they give you a practical scenario and they'll ask you where the person will file the case. As we have seen, there are a lot of illustrations in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All those illustrations you need to thoroughly revise, so that when practical questions come, you can attempt it in a better way, because practical questions are there for West Bengal judiciary. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind. Then we quickly come to a very important section, that is section 46, precepts. Precepts was also asked in my mains as well as in my interview. And in which section precept is there, they ask you for pre. So you need to remember this section also, section 46. That is it. Then we come to arrest and detention. Arrest and detention, you see section 55, 56, 57, 55 to 60 basically. These questions will appear in your pre. So arrest and detention is important from pre point of view. Then commissions. Commissions is also very important. Like why is a commission issued? For what reasons are they issued? Section 75 mentions about these and it will also fall for your mains exam because it is a lengthy portion, right? For your mains, you need to remember that things that are lengthy will obviously come in mains, like res judicata, commissions, arrest and detention. These are lengthy provisions, so they'll definitely give you for 10 marks these answers because ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है CPC. It's just 155 sections. So from where they'll ask the questions? We already know the questions. Okay, you just need to be confident that okay, these questions will come. Don't go around reading every book or every source. It is not important. यही सब question है, घुमा फिरा के यही आता है. Then again, interpleader suits are important. Section 88 for pre also, for mains also, for interview also. Then section 89, since arbitration, mediation, all these are new for our courts and judiciary, that was inserted through an amendment. So it is a new procedure. Out of court settlement is a new procedure. So you need to have a good command over that. So that was also asked in, I remember, West Bengal mains examination regarding arbitration and section 89. Then you need to have good command over inherent power of the court, section 151, and then restitution, section 144, and this is it. Now for orders, if you see, most of you are confused that pura orders kaise padhenge, itna sara hai, itna confusing hai. So what you need to do is order 1 to 10 is the most important. You need to master over that. Or baki, if you see, baki you can give a reading to it. Okay, no need to like really remember, memorize, but 1 to 10 you will have to memorize. And let's just all admit over the fact that judiciary preparation is a bit of memorizing process also, a bit. I would not agree to the fact that we have to memorize everything. I don't agree to that because I never did that. But yes, few portions you cannot do without memorizing, right? So वो तो हर exam में होता है. So I believe order 1 to 10 must be memorized completely. Like you should understand also and memorize it also. Okay, even in those orders, order 9 is the most important order. So this is it for, I would say, CPC. So overall, I hope you got a good grasp over what I wanted to say. And for CRPC, I would say. Yes, CRPC, since CRPC, again, year of enforcement, year and enforcement date must be there. That is 1973 and 1st April 1974, it was enforced. This is a very typical question asked in the mains. And again, you cannot do without memorizing these, right? So you need to memorize it. Then we come to the definition portion. Definition, so we cannot skip kabhi bhi, kisi bhi act ka. उसके बाद you directly come to power of courts. What are the hierarchy of courts? Session court, ये court, वो court, किनका क्या power है, DJ का क्या power है. This is all logical, right? When you are reading something, पहले तो court का power जानना होगा ना, फिर ना you will go to a court. So you get to know the powers in section 26, 27 powers are given. Then how a person has to be arrested. What are the modes when warrant has to be issued. Arrest of persons is a very important chapter 5. Okay, so from there you get questions. What is the procedure of arrest? What are the rights of arrested person? Very important question. We got this question from mains, so it is very important. Section 41, starting from section 41. Okay, this is a criminal justice administration part also. This is a very heavily debated topic nowadays because in a democracy we see that we are now seeing, right, people are taking law in their hands, extrajudicial killing is happening. Then what is the rights of arrested persons? Recently we saw in UP also, where question is being like raised that it was extrajudicial killing and not an encounter, whatever. So there comes your criminal justice administration. So see, this is a current issue, so you might get it in your paper. So if they ask you what are your views on UP criminal who was killed in an encounter, you will have to write about section 41 chapter 5, what are the rights of arrested person, how he has to be taken, he has to be produced before court, all these have to be brought in. Okay, and again this is a very burning topic for interview also. Then we see that if a person has been arrested, now witnesses have to be called, or say if one a person has absconded, so what how you have to call him, then you have to issue warrant, summon, etc., etc. So that chapter 6 talks about all these things, so that is also an important part. Now coming for then again we directly come to section 106 to 110, security for keeping peace on good behavior, and all these sections. Then 125 is all of us know is so important and so burning, because it is a kind of women oriented rights. So again this topic is important, mostly asked in interviews and mains also, because CRPC से एक maintenance का question ऐसा है जो आएगा ही आएगा. So you need to have good command over maintenance, read every section very thoroughly. Then we come to all those sections where we have FIR and etc., etc. Then you see charge. Charge is also very important, chapter 17. Then you see all the trial procedures which are there in chapter 21, 23, all those. Then again, now coming to West Bengal Judiciary. Their favorite section is section 300, section 313, 315, and 319. They have asked every candidate in the interview these sections. Okay, and this was also asked in the mains, and I believe this year also they will be asking you. So make sure you have very good command over 313, 15, and 19. Very important sections. And then finally you need to read section 468, which talks about the limitation for CRPC. We all know that CRPC has its own limitation. We don't refer limitation act. I am referring this particularly because West Bengal has one optional as limitation, and then in pre also you have 20 marks limitation. So this question is asked कि okay CRPC का कोई question दे देंगे and they'll say what is the limitation, and people apply limitation act wala limitation, and they forget that CRPC itself has its limitation. So that is an important section if we consider CRPC. And for IPC, I would say everything is important. You need to have very good command over all the main offenses. Okay. Like offenses, theft, robbery, extortion, dacoity, criminal breach of trust, criminal misappropriation is asked in every exam. So you know that if you start with IPC, start with these sections, because you know definitely 3 to 4 questions are going to fall from these sections. So if you want to crack it in very little time, this is the strategy you should apply. Then if you are done with it, then the second most important part of IPC is general explanations. If you have practiced enough MCQs, you must have noticed that general explanations से questions होते ही होते हैं, and उसके हर section से होते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई भी section उसका important नहीं है, हर section उसका important है general explanations. And then again this theft, robbery, extortion, dacoity have good command over cases, illustrations, and ट्राई नॉट टू मेमोराइज इट. सबका एक रीजन है क्यों है वो समझ गए तो फिर सारे प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस ऑन थेफ्ट, रॉबरी विल बी सॉल्व्ड इजीली. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट इफ वी सी, देन यू ऑब्वियसली हैव हर्ट, रेप, and then stalking, and then offenses against women, right? That is also a very important question that comes in mains, and then they ask you in interview. Okay, so that portion you have to keep in mind, offenses against women. And then the new amendments, 2018 amendment, you need to have good reference to that, and make sure while writing your answers you are referring 2018 amendment of IPC. Finally, coming to your Evidence Act. Evidence Act is a very small act and mostly everything is important, but I would suggest that if you are you have just started reading with Evidence Act, start with the later part of the Evidence Act, that is section 101 to 167. From there we see like if 10 questions are there for evidence, we see that 6 fall from that part, from the 101 to 168 part questions fall. There you have so many sections, 112, 105, 118, witnesses, estoppel, then privileged communications, leading questions, सब तो उधर ही के questions है, discretion of the judge while taking evidence. Then 112 they ask you about how many days are there. So this is where, how you should start with evidence. Don't if you have less time, then start with the this portion of the Evidence Act. So this is it. I have discussed CPC, CRPC, evidence, and IPC, which are major acts. And then for the other portions, you'll have to read everything. Like you can't skip anything for Limitation Act, right? इतना पतला सा है. But हाँ, उसमें you will have to make sure कि articles भी थोड़े बहुत आप देख लें, क्योंकि आर्टिकल से भी क्वेश्चन आते हैं कि एक आर्टिकल रहेगा, वो थोड़ा ट्रिकी है, बट यू विल हैव टू मेक फाइंड आउट योर ओन ट्रिक्स टू मेमोराइज आर्टिकल्स, बट yes, you'll have to do that. Then for personal laws, I would suggest, even if you're not preparing personal laws for pre-exam, it's enough, it's okay, because it's just for 10 marks and you have to read whole Muslim law, Hindu law. So if you want to skip personal law, skip, but do not skip limitation. जितना time आप personal law पढ़ने में लगाएंगे, उससे अच्छा आप limitation के articles पढ़ लें. Okay. So there you will get 20 marks अगर articles सिर्फ पढ़ रहे हैं. और personal law में कितना समय लगेगा, पूरा Muslim law, पूरा Hindu law, succession, ये वो, तब जाके 5 नंबर मिलेंगे. तो वो important है. And focus on English and GK, and I would say yeah, pre is a cakewalk if you strategize and do. So yes, that is
Right.
it. Just one more point I would like to make is that a few people want to know how what is the mains cutoff, because at my time I was really unaware कि mains में कितना cutoff जाता है, क्या होता है. So mains is of total of 1100 marks. Each paper 11 papers are there, each paper consisting of 100 marks. 8 compulsory paper and 3 optional paper. We have already discussed about the 3 optional papers, and for the 8 compulsory papers you have again GK, English, Hindi, then you have Transfer of Property Act and Evidence Act, CRPC, IPC, everything is for 100 marks. It is a very exhausting mains, I must say, like a 11-day engagement. And not even 11 day, like they have paper, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and then again next day also you have 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. So I would say there is no study leave. Okay, so make sure that when you are preparing for pre, be prepared for mains, because when you go to give mains you will have no time to revise कि एक दिन study leave मिल रहा है तो पढ़ लेंगे. इतना time नहीं होता है वेस्ट बंगाल में पढ़ने का. So I would say कि सब कुछ पहले से prepared रहना चाहिए. It is a back-to-back mains that they take, and it's really exhausting. At our time it was in I would say June. In our time it was in June, and we all was used to sweat and give the exam. It was really tiring and exhausting. So I would say be prepared beforehand for your examination. And so what was the cutoff? Cutoff was out of 1100, 530 for general. Okay, so it's like 50%. 50% अगर आपको मेंस में आ रहा है, तो you can expect you will get a call for interview. So prepare accordingly. If you're feeling that okay, I might get 50%. So start preparing for your interview, because again after the mains result you just get 10 to 20 days time for your interview. So start preparing for your interview beforehand itself. Don't wait for your result. If you feel that you might cross itna marks, so start preparing. Because and again an important point I would like to highlight is, which at my time I did not know, so that our viewers can know right now, is that for interview they mention in the interview call letter that a student who is not well versed with in speaking in Bangla, writing in Bangla, or speaking, writing, and reading. Reading in Bangla, they will be rejected, even if their mains plus interview marks crosses the cutoff for the final cutoff, they will be rejected. So this is a this is a very important criteria. ऐसा नहीं है कि they'll just consider कि ठीक है इनको थोड़ा बहुत आता है ले लेते हैं. No, there they gave me to read Anand Bazar Patrika, a Bangla newspaper. They asked me to read a portion from there. Then they also dictated me in Bangla something related to Narendra Modi. So although I did try my best, but obviously I understand the objective of the commission, because West Bengal, all the courts are working in Bangla. So if I, as a non-Bangla with tuta futa Bangla, would have gone there, I would have got faced very much difficult situations over there, because the locals are not versed in Hindi also. Even English, very few local understand English. So for such language barrier states, you need to have good command over your Bangla. So if you are aiming for this, make sure that you know your Bangla. Although in mains language paper, they give us 3 options. They give us, for the Hindi portion, they give us Hindi, Bangla, and Nepali. Because people from Darjeeling also come, I guess. So these 3 options are there. So there also I would suggest that if you could just appear for Bangla language paper, that would be a brownie point for you, because you will get marks in that as compared to Nepali and Hindi. So I would say advise you, but I know it's a bit difficult for Bengali people also. They say me that yes, we don't know how to write the Bangla script so fluently. It is a bit difficult for us. So that is not an issue. Go for Hindi then, but make sure that after your mains you start practicing your Bangla writing, reading, and dictation. Ask your friend, someone to dictate you, and just write, practice. You need to show them confidence that yes, I know this language. Okay, then only they'll accept this.
Right. Yeah, so basically language plays an important role. As you said that you are supposed to read, write, and speak. You would be able to do that. So yeah, so I believe that language one needs to be aware of. Also, thank you so much for that part which you shared the important topics with us. So, ma'am, there's this question that is coming up from Deepankar Sharma, and he's asking that how to deal with the questions which are related with the case laws in pre, because we have seen that. Yes, ma'am.
I believe West Bengal pre did not had much case law based questions. And in mains also, I saw that there were very few questions which said that refer cases. There weren't many questions on that. But however, if you want to prepare for case laws, start with landmark cases first, because that will help you write answers also in mains. So go for landmark cases, and then if you see a few important cases, you'll come across them daily. You come across them, so make notes of them, and keep revising them. Is that I would advise. But first start with the landmark one. Okay, like res judicata ka one landmark case, CRPC में कुछ 164 confession पे कोई landmark case. So start with that. If it is there, then it's okay. And for a few random cases which they ask, it is really out of our hand, because we already have so much of syllabus कि अब उसमें भी you will get some random cases, then you can't help it, right? But yes, we can be prepared with landmark cases and whatever cases that were asked in previous year papers, that you can memorize. That would be, I think, sufficient for case laws.
Right, ma'am. So I guess that Dipankar has got his answer. So, ma'am, it's a very general question I'm asking that like when people start with the preparation, so what they do, they just bring the previous year papers and start, solving them without even knowing the right answer, they just copy, answer from the answer sheet, and they just tick the mark, and it all goes. But the rule says you should know first what is law, then only you should go for the MCQs and everything. So just
True.
tell us that part. I'm asking the routine basically. What should be the routine one aspirant needs to follow up? First, they need to read the Bare Act, and in the evening they should go for MCQ or something like that. And also, please suggest some books for pre MCQs.
Hmm. So, as you said that people copy the answers for MCQs and then read the MCQ. Even I have been there and done that, and that
Right.
was a huge mistake because I got this advice from a senior who said that you can take this method, take this approach, and then I started doing that, and then I felt that I know everything. Okay, I have done all the MCQs. Now I'll crack every exam. But then when I appeared in the exam, I was at dismay. I don't remember. So this was the major flaw, as you already said that first we should have command over bare acts, then only we should go for solving the MCQs. So if you want to do you want to do both simultaneously, then read the bare act in the morning, and then there are books that have chapter wise MCQ. Like, say if you are reading burden of proof in evidence act 101, 200 and 7, 8, if you're reading that portion, you will have MCQs from that portion. Universal is a good book for that. Then there is one more book, Rashid. That book is also good. These two books have chapter wise MCQs. So if you want to like check yourself, ki subah mein you read burden of proof and then sham ko you practice the MCQs. So it is like a whole thing is complete, like burden of proof done and dusted. So you can take that approach. But with previous year papers, you can only start once you are done with your syllabus, at least once, or at least you know that abhi thoda I remember things. Then then you should go for solving previous year papers, because initially you have already analyzed the previous year papers and then you started your preparation. But after your preparation for previous year papers, you have single MCQ book, which everybody suggests that before pre you must solve that book pura. But obviously that is not humanly possible. So either you can take that approach ki you complete your bare acts and then in 1 month, and then go for single in another month, or you can take this approach of reading part of the portion in the morning and then solving the bare act portion from the Universal or Rashid in the evening. That would be sufficient, I would say.
Right, right. Yeah, so one can follow this strategy, and that would be helpful rather than just, taking, correcting the answers just by looking up the answer from website. That
So
sometimes
that
don't
is a
work.
blunder. That is a
Right,
blunder. One must not do that.
right, right. So from the audience, I'll ask that if somebody have question and they wanted to ask directly from the expert, I can unmute that person. Please raise your hand if anybody has some practical question or any problem they are facing while preparing for preliminary examination. And if they don't have any question, so I'll be signing off. And before that, I'll ask my participants to rate this particular webinar from 1 to 10. And ma'am, please just share a brief about the last minute strategy before going in an examination hall. Just a last minute advice you wanted to give. Also the advice to the students who are preparing for preliminary examination for judicial West Bengal judiciary.
I know. Last minute strategies are very important, but I would not give a very, cosmopolitan advice or anything, because that is unachievable. If I would say that एक दिन पहले आप मत पढ़ो, एकदम relax करो and अगले दिन आप जाओ एकदम खाली दिमाग से एग्जाम देने, ऐसा नहीं होता है. तो none of us can complete the syllabus, of course. किसी से complete नहीं होता है. Even I could not complete. So I would just say that read like you should know your body, right? If you feel that you can like you don't need sleep, or you can function with 2 to 3 hours of sleep, go for it. You know your body best, because with my body I know that I need 6 hours of sleep before my examination. Otherwise I don't remember anything in the exam. So even if my syllabus is not done, I make sure I sleep 6 hours before my exam, and then in the morning I revise, and before the bell rings I keep revising. And this is what we do, right? I wouldn't say that don't do anything in the morning, go with a blank mind, but that is not achievable. Very few of us can achieve that kind of perfection कि एक दिन पहले तक syllabus हो चुका है और एक दिन पहले chill कर रहे हैं. That is literally like not achievable for most of us. So I would say that just know your body and get the right amount of sleep, or whatever that could keep you functioning in the exam hall, and that would be it. And don't panic, because in West Bengal humidity is quite high. So we were on a rush, like in morning में exam, फिर 1 hour lunch, and then evening again we had exam, and in that 1 hour we were sweating like anything. So that also made us tired. So make sure that you are in a comfortable environment over there, because your body literally exhausts after those 11 days of hectic exam. Like West Bengal is the one state which takes such a lengthy procedure for mains. So it is exhausting, and so you need to keep your mind and body well functioning to get that 11 days. Get your body in those 11 days of action, morning evening, every day you have to give and go and write 100 marks paper. It is really, your hands swell, literally your hands will swell. Okay, so make sure that before the examination you are in your good health, so that you can manage that. I would say exhaust whatever. So yeah, that's my
Right.
advice.
Right. So yeah, we have received a good feedback that you have shared a genuine and honest strategies in a such a detailed, comprehensive manner, and we have got a good feedback. Yeah. So thank you so
Great.
much, ma'am, for your time and valuable efforts which you provided us. And also, those who are preparing for West Bengal judiciary, just focus over the preliminary also along with the mains, because pre is where you need to enter into the examination and into the process. So preliminary is also very important along with the mains. Also follow up the strategies which ma'am has told us, in a very detailed, comprehensive manner, that what should be the routine and the reliable sources you need to follow up. So I believe that this session was very helpful for the aspirants, and they will definitely follow up the strategies accordingly. So thank you so much, ma'am, again.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you so much for your time and efforts. So thank you, everyone. Stay home, stay safe. I'm signing off. Anu Bhatnagar, Webinar Executive. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.